You are walking through the forest. Roll for perception. You open your web browser and go to Twitter. Roll for perception. After watching the DFL series on perception, starting with this episode, roll for perception. Woot! Stay tuned and learn how perception works in the real world and learn some new ways to modify your perception.
Distinctions for Life, helping you get what you really want in life with small changes that make a big difference.
Welcome to Distinctions for Life, where I help you get what you really want in life with small changes that make a big difference. I'm your host, Ron Davis. If you would like more assistance, visit my website at distinctionsforlife.tv. Our ability to perceive the world correctly is one of the biggest factors in our overall quality of life. Our perception skill not only affects our safety, it affects our happiness and our chance of success. In the real world, just like in D&D, a poor perception skill will get you eaten by monsters and make you miss the best loot. This is the beginning of a series about perception and how to improve yours. Because I can't help thinking about D&D every time I hear the word perception, and DFL is a super geeky thing just like me, we're going to use that metaphor a lot. In this episode, I'm going to attempt to define perception and give you some stories to understand it better. In future episodes, I'll talk about the mental traps, charms, and other spells the world is using on you to change your perception. I'll also teach you some tools that you can use to resist those effects. Watch the whole series and you'll get a massive bonus to your perception checks. So, what is perception? In its most basic, material, naturalistic definition, perception is what you are able to take in with your sensory apparatus. And it is dependent on the quality of that apparatus. Just as a quick review, your senses and their sensory apparatus are sight, eyes, sound, ears, touch, skin, smell, nose, taste, tongue. Yes, I know some of these overlap. We'll leave that for later. Now let's pretend that you are playing the most detailed RPG ever, and you have perception ability scores for each of your senses. If you have a 20/20 vision, your visual perception score might be 10, using a D&D 3 to 18 scale. If you need glasses, it would be 9 or even less. Reading glasses would have a modifier for visual perception for up close because of their magnification. Here's a bonus distinction or life hack. If you are doing a lot of close-up work like soldering or sewing, buy some +3 reading glasses. I mean 3x reading glasses. Sheesh, they put the modifier right there on the label. Wear them while doing that up-close work. It makes it easier because everything is bigger. There are a lot of other technology that we use to enhance our visual sensory perception. Everything from magnifying glasses to microscopes, from binoculars to the Hubble Space Telescope. This use of external technology to change our perceptions is an interesting and fascinating topic. But we're not going to be talking about that in this series. Because no matter how good or bad your sensory perception is, it is the internal technology that you are using to interpret that data that is making the biggest difference in your life. It is where you are most manipulating yourself and where external forces cause you to be manipulated. If you can change your internal process, then you can make a huge difference in the quality of your perception and your life. That is what this series is going to be all about. We're going to talk about the factors that affect your perception that you have control over. There is a lot that you can do to improve your perception that doesn't require external tech. By learning these things, you will be happier, smarter, and wiser. Plus, you will see how some of these are being used on you, which will help you better avoid and resist those ploys. Some of the things we'll be talking about are attention, how to use it, how it is manipulated, and how to enhance it. Meaning, where you most manipulate your own perceptions of what you take in from your senses. Worldview, the filters that you use to see the world, and other topics that I may decide to add in later. It is interesting that perception checks in D&D are based not on intelligence, but on wisdom. One thing I see in our modern society is a focus on intelligence and not much talk about wisdom. People all seem to want to be smarter, but few ask to be wiser. But it is wisdom that lets us use the things of the world and our intelligence to get the outcomes that we want. Intelligence does not tell you the difference between good and evil. Wisdom does. Perception is one of the expressions of wisdom. It is the first step in the cognitive process of wisdom. Question of the day. What are your questions about perception? Leave them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them. Please cast the spell of subscription on this channel to get more in the coming weeks. And hit the magic bell to allow YouTube to send you an owl as soon as a new video is posted. Thanks for watching today. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. This channel is all about helping you get what you really want in life with small changes that make a big difference. Until next time, I'm Ron Davis. In this episode, I'm going to what is wrong with my voice? In this episode, I'm going to attempt to define perception and give you a story that you can use when your teleprompter works. Because I can't help thinking about D&D every time I hear the word perception, and DFL is super geeky, and geeky.